faced with a threat, living beings will respond in a variety of ways. That's where the 4 F's come in: fight, flight, freeze, and fidget or fawn. It's relatively evident when an animal fights or flees that they are in a heightened negative emotional state that's detrimental to their well-being. But the other two are a bit harder to understand and therefore to be empathic to, unless you've thought about them. So let's look at freeze, and let's look at it in the context of humans first. A 1977 accident involving 2 planes on the ground in Tenerife is still, to this day, the aviation disaster that caused the most passenger deaths. Why am I talking to you about this? Because following that accident, passengers that had successfully escaped the burning plane testified that other passengers had seemed petrified in their seats, and they never got out. They just stayed there and died when they could have fled. There's a really great 2-part episode on this on the Cautionary Tales podcast. I encourage you to listen to it. Following this, researchers got interested in this question. It turns out that we can't really know how we'll react to a severe event, and we might very well freeze instead of fight or flee. From an evolutionary standpoint, it makes sense to freeze if it means the lion thinks you're dead and stops trying to kill you, or if it means you're so hard to notice that the lion doesn't see you in the first place. But our bodies haven't evolved to be in plane accidents. They react in weird, illogical ways in those kinds of situations. There are 2 lessons I think we should take from this. 1, don't judge people who freeze instead of helping when witnessing an accident. It's very possibly completely out of their control. It doesn't mean you can't help them to come out of it and help you, but don't judge if they don't do it on their own. The second thing is cat-related, of course. When faced with a cat that freezes, don't go and think that what they're going through is any less distressing than if they were fighting or attempting to flee. The people in the plane who were frozen weren't feeling good. They were in a plane that was half destroyed and burning. They were frozen in fear, waiting to die. That's not feeling good. The cat on the exam table at the vet that's frozen might be easier to examine than the fighting one, but they are living through a terrifying experience. And that doesn't need to be the case. There are now event medications and wiser handling techniques, as well as training, to help with that. Don't underestimate a frozen cat. Give them a hideout in the shelter. Give them different care at the vet. Learn better taming techniques that don't involve dragging them from under the sofa. And listen to the podcast episode. It's awesome. It's my favorite podcast. Let's end with some clips that compare what a comfortable cat looks like at the vet versus one that, while not completely frozen, is not comfortable. We can manage to do an exam and take samples on both of them, but it doesn't mean the cat on the right is feeling okay. Miley and Middleman explore loads at the vet. Leia really doesn't.